I'm embarrassed to say, is it that, the little building down that?
Yeah, by Townhouse South.
Okay, yeah, so I don't know anything about it other than I think I've occasionally parked there.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys, like, are you guys like surprised to learn this, or like, do you know about the history of slavery in New Jersey or not?
No, I feel like we're always taught it was down in the South, not in just north up here. So, like, when I heard about it, it was like very shocking.
I've ever heard it referred to as the slave house. It's like, oh, the 16 days, the slave house. And it's like not viewed very well. It's viewed poorly. And
So right now, it's, the building itself, is it used as offices or?
And neglected for many years and is now in dire need of repairs. Thanks to the efforts of local preservationists and a state assemblyman, the house is getting a new lease on life.
The farmhouse on the campus of the College of New Jersey was built about 1713 by William Green, one of the earliest settler families of Ewing Township. Today, 15th District Assemblyman Reed Gussior announced that he's introduced legislation to provide a $700,000 grant to the College of New Jersey to renovate the historic home.
Is still standing and we're not doing anything about it, then if we establish that area, like that building, as like a center where it's dedicated to education and making sure we don't make the same mistakes as the past on an admission side, like for the school, because let's be honest, the school just cares about its reputation and getting admissions. For the school, that's also beneficial because more students will be willing to come in to a predominantly white institution. Like more minority students will be like, I feel more comfortable coming in, because it is still an issue right now where students who are students of color feel like being in a predominantly white institution still feels off.
Yeah, I will say, like,
it still feels like there's no space.
As like a person doing this project and like seeing how much this has been a discourse on like all the anonymous Instagrams, I don't know if you guys like follow any of those.
It's
like,
insane.
I mean, I don't think that like demolishing it is the best option. Maybe. Like I agree that like it's it's a very sore sore subject on the campus. Like we have a location where slaves were held. But I think yes, it's very bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like I almost wonder like if it's better to use it as an opportunity for education.
I've heard it's like falling apart though. So
yeah, it's
like
different.
Is it even like a good like? I don't know. Clearly, I only looked at it from afar. But like, is it preservable? Like to the point where it'd be like could be used for good education? Like, because if it's not, if it's just sitting here and not being useful, then why have that reminder?
Yeah, if it's like if it's just not being, if they're not going to do anything with it, then they should take it down. But like, I'm just trying to think if there is something that they can take. But clearly, it's been years and it hasn't.
Have it there anymore, first of all, because like she said, like it's like a symbol of like you, like it means you don't care enough about what it represents to take it out in the first place. Like what does that say to your non-white like student base at the school to keep it there? Which is literally what she just said. Like yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
Oh, I just feel like having their name in their honor is they're not honoring something that is ethical and something our school like represents.
I think it's great that you guys are looking into this, and yeah, I think that it's definitely an important issue, and I'll be interested to see what it ultimately happens, because I know that changing the name was something the students were really, I think, proud of when they got that accomplished, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So interesting. Yeah. No, I thank you. I'm ashamed to say I worked here
No, it's
for 18
okay.
years.
No, yeah, it's okay because so many people.
It is what it is.
So wait, so the name is the William Green House?
I think it must be. I must be thinking of something different now that I think about it. But yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. I'm from Montgomery, and there was like this little schoolhouse that was on near one of the actual schools, and I know eventually they changed it to a museum type of thing, and that seemed like a good idea. Yeah, maybe people can do even more research about who it was that was here, and look at ways to kind of make that right, I guess.
Question. Yes. Did that family own the slaves?
Those names, I think, would be something beneficial that we could do relatively easily too. Yeah.
Or something, right, about like that, like asking like what your thoughts are on it. I'm pretty sure they sent a survey about it.
Oh, are you part of the WGSS mailing list?
Yes.
They said, yeah, they did. Our group actually sent that out. Yeah.
Okay. And I was like, I should think about this before I even open the email. But I don't know because I feel like how do I word this? It's like certain groups shouldn't be like the ones deciding what happens like with it, like as like a white person, like you shouldn't be like the one deciding, oh, what should we do with this. So I feel like you should ask groups that like it affects more, like I don't know, that's why I can't really like say what we should do.
That's a complicated question. I feel like there is a lot of historical value, and I think that it could be used as like a tool to teach people about it, but it would have to be in like a really effective way against it. At the same time, because it does still stand as like a monument of slavery. But if you make it a tool, I feel like it could be beneficial, but it would have to be very effective.
The Friends have their sights set on matching grants to develop marketing and rehabilitation plans that could include turning the greenhouse into a coffee shop or a facility for TCNJ alumni.
It'd be appropriate for a state university to have a farmhouse. A historic farmhouse dates back to the 1730s as their historic centerpiece. It had plenty of contribution to the Revolutionary War. The occupant served as a scout to General Washington. So I think it's important for us to preserve a piece of history, particularly in an educational institution where we could show students firsthand the architecture, the history of the area, and serve as a living tribute to our past.
Well, personally, I feel like that's like a symbol of obviously slavery and art. I don't think that should be on campus, given how now it's like 2022. There's a lot of like racial equity even on campus. So I feel like that's a symbol of racism, and if it stays, it says something to the TCNJ community, how they're not respectful and they're not mindful of other people's opinions and beliefs.
I actually heard about that a while back, but like, I don't know. Instead of like, I know a lot of the people were talking about tearing it down when I first heard of it, like that was the discourse. And like, yes, I can understand that urge, but like, it might be better to use it as a learning opportunity to kind of be like, this wasn't a reality, this was the extent of everything, and like, we still have so much more work to do. So rather than ignoring it, it should be like, actually like, it was shameful and this was what happened, but this is what it was.
Yeah, like educate it.
Like
educate on it, and then use the space for positive things here on out.
I say either burn it to the ground or no, just kidding.
Whoa. Oh.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even know about this till like just now, so I think that's a problem. I think if we're gonna keep it, then I think we need to be talking about it more.
It says a lot in itself too, if it's not a priority. Clearly it's making students uncomfortable, so why is it not been talked about if it was something that happened years ago?
Is that you? Anything to say? You're abstaining or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a regular farm. And a lot of times those haven't survived. It may be the more important buildings that have survived. And to me, to see a house that everyday people lived in is really remarkable.
Maybe turning it into like a cultural center, just so like we can talk about this stuff more.
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot about diversity and stuff, but like we have events, but there's not really a center for everything to go. We have a center for student success. We have a center for fitness. Like why can't we have a center for just education on not even just cultural diversity, but like different social identity groups, because it's not just racial issues. It ties that time period into a lot of like gender identity, so sexual orientation, like other minorities as well. Like so, it could be used for that purpose if we really want to like address it and make it better.
If you guys have anything else to say, I think that's pretty good.
I guess the only thing I can say is I wish there was an easy solution.